Welcome to BDO World Hockey. In this edition, Olympic dreams for Ukraine star Tatiana Kopchenko, now playing in Holland. South Africa's top umpire, John Wright and brother Peter. And indoor action from England's national titles. But first to Durban in South Africa for the inaugural Spa Cup Four Nations event. Durban is one of South Africa's most popular destinations, with its surf, sand and sun. But the port city has also become one of the country's most popular sports venues. South Africa was using the event as a final hit-out before the Commonwealth Games. So too was Scotland, although the team found some time for a stroll along the beach. The hosts also mixed pleasure with business, with visits to some of Durban's popular tourist attractions, including an aquarium where some of the players took the opportunity to swim with the fish, with the appropriate safeguards in place as needed. And with a rest day falling on Valentine's Day, the team were made to feel loved by a group of local lifeguards. They also played some pretty good hockey for the large local crowds. Azerbaijan and Ireland were the other two teams, finishing third and fourth in the event. South Africa dominated its gold medal game against Scotland. Taryn Bright got the first from a corner, and Jen Wilson made it 2-0 going into half-time. Bright got a second early in the second half, and they sealed it with a fourth from Henna Dubusson. The tournament win a big boost for South Africa ahead of the Commonwealth Games this month and the World Cup later in the year.
Today we really produced some outstanding hockey, and if we keep producing that, hopefully we'll make a few dreams come true in our team and hopefully the public as well.
In men's hockey, Pakistan has won its 6-test series against arch-rival India. The Pakistanis swept the first 3 games played in India before India crossed the border to claim a win and 2 draws in the second leg of the series. Elsewhere, Canada's men have beaten the United States in a 3-test series in their final hit-out before heading down under for the Commonwealth Games. The Americans were competitive in the first 2 games, but couldn't hold their northern neighbours in Game 3. And Australia's women rehearsed for the Commonwealth Games with a clean sweep of their 3-test series against Canada, belting 9-2 in the final game.
And you must smile for the camera.
There'll be plenty of action around the World Hockey Youth Marathon weekend in May, with more than 50 countries involved in a 48-hour development project.
We want to promote youth hockey and we want to put those young players in the spotlights. But the aim behind it and why we organize this as FIH is to get the message across that investing in youth is investing in your future. So we need to invest in the quality of players in order to groom our future Olympians and to hire the levels below that. But we also need to invest in the quantity of players in order to survive and to develop ourselves further as a team sport.
The first marathon was held in 2001 in hockey's Year of the Youth. This year the theme is A Sport for Everybody, supported by a new promotional DVD for use by national hockey associations and development officers.
We want to be a sport for everybody, we want to be a sport for all, and therefore we invite countries during this year's marathon to create an event for those groups within their hockey population that are not well represented yet. So if a country mainly has girls playing hockey, we invite them to create an event for boys and vice versa. If they have a majority of seniors, we invite them to do something for juniors, and we also give special attention to hockey for people with a disability.
The aim is participation in great numbers. A marathon is nice, but it boils down to hockey in matches and hockey in tournaments and hockey in leagues, and the marathon is just a tool to attract attention to the game.
And hockey is getting its own television commercial in Australia to promote the junior program called Hook into Hockey.
Just to promote the message of Hook into Hockey and let people know about what benefits there might be in terms of being involved in the program.
Olympic gold medalists Angie Skirving and Liam de Young are the ambassadors for the program and filmed the commercial in Perth with more than 60 enthusiastic youngsters.
And we're hoping to come up with a television advertisement so that we can promote the program and really get people into our sport.
Working with some kids, having some fun and getting them involved with with hockey at the early stages, and hopefully making some new friends for them, and hoping they continue to play hockey.
Now to England's National Indoor Arena in Birmingham, and a big crowd on hand for the finals of the English indoor season. The men's final between Canterbury and East Grinstead was broadcast live across the UK. Your commentators are Chris Mayer and Nick Irvin.
One's almost single-handedly kept English indoor hockey alive. But they're behind now. Touch in there, Aaron Gunningham. Acres of space, and Dakin could do nothing about that. And Canterbury ahead, Chris. But, once the first whistle has blown, it's anyone's game. Anything can happen in a final, and probably will. Don't leave your seats as the second goal goes in. And again it's Canterbury. And this time it was Stuart Keir. Trying to use the side boys. He's got possession again. Oh, that's wonderful. This has been a real triumph for English hockey. Chance here for Canterbury, ball bouncing awkwardly, and penalty stroke given. That's David Matthews, an England and Great Britain player, powerfully built player. Matthews in against Dakin from 7 metres, and Matthews makes no mistake. And that's what the Canterbury fans wanted, David Matthews on the score sheet. We saw there how Tom Sheridan got right out on top of the head. Oh, that's wonderful, and how did that go in? It's gone over Dakin's shoulder, I think. Dave Matthews, no angle at all for a shot.
Oh, well, I said East Grinstead at the start. I'm going to stick with him.
Well, you're a brave man, Chris May. You're a brave man. But, that's almost the perfect start they would have wanted. Put away there by Dan Byfield. And what an important goal that could be right at the start of the second half.
That's the start they would have wanted. Their coach at half-time would have been saying we need to score early. They've done that.
Was another chance. Oh, wonderful goal. Wonderful first touch from Ashley Jackson. He just changed the angle. He completely took Sheridan out of the equation. Well, I don't know what East Grinstead said at half-time. They should bottle it and use it on another occasion. Really terrific start to the second period from them, and they win a corner as well there. Morgan himself a real expert exponent at this indoor game, and now all those footies counting, and another one goes in there. There's still 12.5 minutes left on our clocks. There's plenty of time. Good slip, good finish too. And it's that man, Scotty Ashdown, the skipper, leading by example on this occasion. And he brought his team level.
When you're coaching and you're 5-1 down, you always say, to your team, look boys, we need to start this second half hard, see if we can get something. If we get something, then we keep the roll going. Canterbury would definitely have known that, and they should have been ready for it.
Well, it looks as if they had counted against that happening. They certainly have been caught very cold, and there's East Grinstead ahead for the first time. And it was the simplest goal in the end, just a little touch in really from Dan Byfield, set up by Batty on the far side. East Grinstead using the boards well. And here they are ahead, but not for long. Touched over the line there. I think Stuart Keir may well have got the final touch, but it was going in anywhere, I suspect.
They certainly do, the Loughborough students crowd. They get behind their team, and unfortunately today for Loughborough, they weren't able to actually make it through to the final. And there's going on. What a goal! 7-6, 4 minutes to go. The Australian puts the ball in the back of the net.
So Aaron Gonnigan there puts Canterbury back ahead. They've not been ahead for some time now. Jackson. Oh, lovely skills into the circle. It goes on a penalty corner. A real chance for East Grinstead to bite straight back. Remember, they trail by 7 goals to 6. It's a slip. Oh, it's gone in. That ties it up again. This is a time for clear heads. Safely in, Mark Justice. 1-0 East Grinstead. Can Giles Dakin deny him this time? And Matthews goes low, and Dakin wasn't far away from it. He might have got something on that. And Matthews got it home. That's all that matters in this barrage. Number 7 from 7 metres. Sends the keeper the wrong way, safely into the back of the net. And Mike Holland puts East Grinstead back ahead, 2-1. Right, here we go again for Canterbury. And he's missed it. And the hero of the semi-final, Rob Playford, may yet prove to be the villain of this final. I don't need to tell you, this is Ashley Jackson. And if it goes in, and it does, the title belongs to East Grinstead, and the rest of the team rush on and lift the youngster into the air.
East Grinstead winning the penalty shootout and the title. And we'll have highlights of the women's final next month. Coming up on BDO World Hockey, Ukraine captain Tetiana Kopchenko, a new home and new challenges.
The most important responsibility of the coach is to make training fun and interesting. Whether you coach the local under-10s or a school team, a club team or the national team, the training environment should be a fun place to be. If it is so, the learning will be greater and easier. The other essential element is that the players be challenged continuously with increasingly difficult tasks and problems. By progressively increasing the load of training and the complexity of the drills, your athletes will make steady progress. An enjoyable yet challenging training pitch is one where the players will keep learning, keep improving, and one to which they will keep returning.
The Australian men hold top spot on the Sahara World Hockey rankings after their victory at the Champions Trophy event in Chennai. The Netherlands are second after reaching the final in Chennai and sit 111 rankings points behind Australia. Germany hold on to third despite finishing fourth at the Champions Trophy. Spain are fourth and within 71 points of third place. Pakistan remain fifth in the rankings and their Asian neighbours India are still sixth. Korea holds 7th place thanks to their top 8 Olympic finish, while Argentina are 8th. New Zealand are 9th, still holding points from their last Champions Trophy appearance in 2004, and South Africa round out the top 10 after their win at the Africa Cup. In the women's rankings, the Netherlands retain their grip on top spot. Pan American champions Argentina are in 2nd place. Australia move up from 4th to 3rd after their silver medal at the Champions Trophy and their Oceania Cup title. Olympic champions Germany are number 4. China hold 5th after their bronze medal performance in Canberra, and New Zealand's win in the Champions Challenge keeps them in 6th. Korea are 7th in the rankings, ahead of Japan, who are 8th. England are currently 9th, and Spain round out the women's top 10. A cold winter afternoon in Amsterdam, and while most of the city's population head for their homes, others head to hockey practice. Among them, a new face in the Dutch Women's League, Ukraine captain Tetiana Kopchenko. The 29-year-old is one of the world's most outstanding midfielders, a nominee for the prestigious Player of the Year title in 2001, and in 2002 she led her country at the Women's World Cup. Her new club, Amsterdam, had been trying to recruit her to Holland for 3 years.
she's a gifted hockey player. It's fantastic to see a player like that, and there must be many other players, I'm sure, in Eastern Europe or in other parts of the world that are playing in what's considered to be one of the best competitions in the world, and it's fantastic to see it.
And while Tatiana is quite at home in the professional surroundings of Dutch hockey, she has faced some challenges in moving to Amsterdam, not the least of which was the language barrier. With Russian as her native tongue, she's now working hard, both on and off the field, to improve her communication skills and her hockey.
I like Amsterdam very much. Life is completely different from the Ukraine, but the main problem is language, especially when I don't have many friends here with whom I can communicate. I understand I have to work hard. I reached the top level in the Ukraine, but I understand that here that is not enough. But I am enjoying life here. It's something new for me.
She's making big improvements. If you talk quickly to her, she's able to communicate in acceptable English in terms of understanding. And on the field, she's starting to make noises to the rest of the team when she wants the ball, she wants to pass the ball to somebody.
Her home in Holland is an apartment close to the Amsterdam club. She has a motor scooter, but prefers to walk for the time being.
Yes, I have a scooter, but I'm afraid to ride it because the roads are so busy here. But I will do my best. Perhaps in the spring I will ride the scooter.
Her longer-term future is uncertain, with a hint that she may retire after her contract with Amsterdam.
I have a 2-year contract here, and I think for a hockey career that may be enough. I have no family yet, and I will do that. Perhaps in the future I would like to be a coach or a trainer.
Before that, Tatiana is setting her sights on being part of the Ukraine team at this year's World Cup in Madrid.
Well, first we must go to the qualifying tournament in Rome and finish in the top 5 teams. We'll certainly try, but it is possible.
There is also an Olympic dream, an ambitious target for Ukraine, which would need to qualify in the top 12 from its present world ranking of 15.
I have a lot of ambition in my sport. Of course, an Olympic medal. But I think for my team it will be very difficult because we are not ranked highly. Of course I would like to reach those levels and win tournaments. But we will see.
The Wright brothers carved their names in American history by completing the first powered flight way back in December 1903. Wilbur and Orville Wright were pioneers, celebrated across their nation and around the world. Now hockey has its own set of Wright brothers. They're not as heavily involved in flying as the more famous Wright brothers, although they do travel a lot. John and Peter Wright are international umpires, with the elder brother, John, already recognised as one of the best officials in the game. He umpired at the Sydney Olympics just 8 years after picking up the whistle. And since then, he's done the final of the Madrid Olympic qualifying event in 2004, the Athens Olympic final, and the final of the 2005 Champions Trophy in Chennai. John Wright has come a long way in a relatively short time.
Back in my school days, obviously the normal thing that happens with hockey is that someone's got to go out and try and umpire a game, and umpires are always a problem, so I was called in to do a lower league school game, and that's where it basically started and kicked off from there. Into club games as well, also obviously at a lower league level, and then that was probably where I was first bitten from an umpiring point of view.
After 14 years as an official, he's now among the most senior umpires on the international panel. At 35, he has at least another 12 years before compulsory retirement at 47. His brother Peter is 32 and has umpired at the Junior World Cup and at invitation events in Pakistan.
Well, there was always the one clown that has to do the lower league games, and it started mainly at school when the junior teams, the C and D teams at school, needed an umpire.
Short corner awarded by John Wright, most experienced umpire. His brother Peter is
also umpiring today.
While they occasionally umpire together in South Africa, there's a real opportunity they could eventually stand alongside each other at a major international event.
The opportunities that umpiring or that sport has given us, and more particularly obviously hockey, have been unbelievable. And I think that is a major attraction for any person that is fortunate enough to be involved at international sport. And from an umpiring point of view, I mean, there's parts of the world that I've been to that I'd never ever have thought of going to. And those are some of the major draw points to being involved in international sport.
And while many people are quick to criticise the officials, most leading players have a healthy respect for the umpires. But it's a respect they have to earn, as John Wright discovered in his early days.
It's difficult because from an umpiring point of view, it's all about establishing trust in the players, in the teams, in the coaches. So being a lot younger and a lot more inexperienced than some of the players and the coaches is a lot more difficult, and it's often a daunting task. And I think even now, at this stage where I find myself in my umpiring career, it's still difficult to try and establish yourself from an umpiring point of view. The players want to have trust in you, and I think that's the most important thing. The number of decisions that you get right or wrong is really probably immaterial at the end of the day. It's all about trust and establishing that trust, and that takes a hell of a long time to get through. I think it's really important, if you want to be a top international umpire, is that you've got to realise when you're making mistakes. And if you're making mistakes continuously, then there's something that's wrong and something needs to be checked out and worked on. But you've got to accept that you're going to make mistakes. I'm fully aware that we do make mistakes, and we've got to be big enough to accept when we're making mistakes and hopefully not repeat those mistakes in future games.
And although the brothers share a passion for the whistle, they're the first to admit they have quite different styles.
Very much so, yeah. I mean, he's the strict one. I tend to be the softy probably on the field, but what I really enjoy umpiring with him because I think we complement each other well in the two different styles working together on the field.
Meet the youngest member of New Zealand's senior women's squad. This is 11-month-old Katie Hollins. She's not playing just yet, but she has been to the team's training camps. Katie is the daughter of Black Sticks forward Michelle Hollins. She was Michelle Turner when she played for New Zealand between 1999 and 2002, before retiring from the game to travel for a couple of years and then return to New Zealand to start her family and play club hockey. But her ability at club level attracted the attention of the selectors, and she's been called back into the national team with an invitation to bring Katie into camp.
Michelle's situation is unique, and we believe in running a holistic athlete focused program, and Michelle's needs required her to have a baby in camp, or little Katie required her mum more so than the other way around, but that's just a life source, so we needed to make sure that we didn't break that bond and allowed Michelle to be able to be part of the team and to be able to concentrate.
New Zealand Hockey have been fabulous actually. I couldn't fault them for what they've done for me. Initially when I first made the team I had 6 days to sort out how I was going to work it, and at that stage I couldn't leave Katie behind. I was still feeding and things, so they paid for Mark and Katie to come with us, and they were very professional about how it was all set up, and I think probably Ian has driven that, and New Zealand Hockey have followed the initiative, so it's been really good.
And the support structure has extended to Michelle's teammates.
The girls have been fantastic. They have been really understanding of the situation that I have, and some of them have been babysitting. So thanks to Auntie Stace and Auntie Jamie and Auntie Lizzie, the 3 girls that have taken her on while we've been doing weights and things. They go first, I go second, and while I'm doing mine, they look after her. So it's been really good.
The arrangement extends to providing for Michelle's family to travel overseas and stay close to the team while Michelle is playing. And Katie is always on the sidelines.
She most certainly comes to the games and she screams a wee head off, but not probably appropriately, but she yells out every now and then, and she seems to quite enjoy it. There's always people fussing over her, and you know, there's lots to see and do, and she's a nosy kid.
Katie's father is Mark Hollins, a physiotherapist who works in private practice and with the elite level cycling program in New Zealand. He's had no problem playing the role of Mr. Mum when Michelle goes to training.
We've both come from busy lifestyles. I worked with the cycling team as physio for 5 or 6 years, and when I met Michelle at the Olympics she was off doing her hockey thing, and in between I'd be going to World Champs in Manchester and places like that, so we've come and gone a bit, so Katie sort of adds a bit of solidity to our lives really, and it's nice. It's nice to have her around and look after her. It's good.
Max pretty much, he does exactly what I do, you know, he takes full responsibility as well, so it makes it pretty easy for me to get away, really.
And while Katie can be a handful, Michelle and Mark admit they are blessed to have been the parents of a baby who sleeps pretty well.
We were lucky. From about sort of 8 weeks she slept through the night, so if that had not been the case I think I would have struggled a lot more, but she's not really and I'm a good sleeper. I hate getting woken in the night, so when we do hear it we don't tend to get up.
That's well trained.
Yeah, she sucks her thumb, so she grizzles and sucks her thumb and goes back to sleep.
The key is that you've got to make sure that when Michelle comes in the door there's no crying. That's the key. And so that, you know, in the meantime she can do whatever she likes as long as Michelle comes home she's happy.
Coming up next month on BDO World Hockey, Sohail Abbas on his powerful penalty corner technique, and the 15-year-old who went from domestic homework to international hockey.